Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, October the 19th, 2022. Wednesday, October the 19th, 2022. Well, today was just okay to me. Nothing really big jumping off. I mean, we had Billy and Lily talking, and Billy was saying that, you know what, since this whole debacle with the IPO, and they're going to announce that Nate is gone, or it's going to get out in the world, I don't know what that is, that Nate is gone. And so he didn't feel it was a good time for him to step away as COO of Chancellor, whereas Nate was pretty much COO for Devon's business division. He's fired. And Lily says, no, you know what, Billy, go ahead. I don't want to hold you back. She's actually being a little silly. I don't want to hold you back. Um, I don't want to keep you from possibly coming upon the opportunity that's, yeah, whatever. But he goes, no, I mean, I would do this for my mother just to make sure there's a smooth transition as well. And she says, well, you know what, Billy, we just won't announce that you're stepping away. Just quietly step away. So then they were a little apprehensive about the meeting with Jill because he already emailed Jill and he knew Jill was not going to be happy. Jill gets on there and rips them a new one. How could you let this happen up under your nose, Lily? How did you not know? The only reason I agreed to merge Chancellor with Hamilton Winters, was your family. And now I'm seeing that was a mistake because it was your family and Lily's just sitting there. Lily's just taking everything that Jill pretty much has to give, and Jill is just like, and Billy is stepping up for Lily. Hey, wait a minute, Mom. You know what? No, Lily has tried to keep the peace. Lily has done everything. He was standing up for her. And Lily says, you know what, Billy? I don't need you to fight my battles for me. I am the CEO. This happened under my watch, and I take full responsibility for it. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you better be happy Devon wasn't there because he wouldn't have allowed this. Oh, now that it happened and we let you know it's all our fault, right? We just knew there was a snake in the grass. So, needless to say, Billy gets a text from Victoria a little bit later in the conference with Jill and Lily. And Jill had kind of calmed down and she told Lily she respected her for taking responsibility for what happened, but, still she's very upset, right? So then he goes, oh, this is Victoria. I'm supposed to meet Johnny and Katie at the park, but I could tell them I'll be late, if I'm still needed. And Jill is like, no. Lily's like, no, go ahead. Jill and I could talk. And Jill's like, no, but give my grandbabies a kiss. So she went from sniper mode into give my grandbabies a kiss for me, right? So Billy leaves and Lily is still talking to Jill. And Lily said, well, there's one other concern that we're worried about. And Jill says, I want to hear this other concern that you mentioned earlier. And so Lily said, Tucker McCall is in the mix now. And we don't know if he's the CEO that Nate was conferring with or giving away company secrets to, but Tucker is known as being a corporate raider. And Jill said, yes, he is. I know Tucker well. And she's like, but you know what? Now we know that this was happening. We're going to be more vigilant, right? And she goes, Lily's looking at her and she says, oh, look, my plans haven't changed. I still plan on taking the company public. Now that Nate has been handled, the mole has been found, we should be fine. And Lily said, yeah, but we don't know that it's Tucker that Nate was selling these secrets to or telling this information to. And so Jill said, well, then just find out. We're going to have to find out who it is. But no, I plan on going forward. And I hope you and Devon are still on board with that. And Lily is just looking because Lily knows exactly what Devon told her. Absolutely no. No, I'm not doing it. And if Jill has a problem with it, tell her to talk to me. Lily, I am so surprised, did not speak up, but she kept her mouth quiet because in her mind, she's thinking, I'll convince Devon. Devon better not give in. Better not give in. Okay, so Devon and Nate are talking because, we left yesterday with Devon showing up at the door and they have it out but not have it out. They were rehashing the exact same old stuff. Nate is still saying, you took away my passion, you took away my livelihood and my drive when you took away my ability to do surgery. And Devon is like, yeah, but you know what, Nate, you're forgetting what you took from me. You took my girlfriend, and actually him and Elena were engaged. You took my girlfriend away from me. What, talk about loss? So I didn't just randomly do this to you. It happened because of an event that you caused, Nate. You caused it. He says, as a matter of fact, the things that have happened to you are things that you have caused from that point on. He goes, you pretended to get past it. Well, I did. I had the woman I loved. Oh, I took your girl. And you had, you and Amanda got together. So I felt everything was fine. And I felt that I could push it down. But then I wasn't happy as chief of surgery. And then I was thinking, but then just go back to being a doctor. He was working at the clinic. He was being a regular doctor at the hospital. He just could not do intricate surgeries. Okay. So he could have gone back to what made him happy. It was medicine. Maybe not the intricate surgeries, but medicine. But oh no. And so then he goes, and then when I was offered Chancellor Winters, the position there, I felt I could get my passion back and I was excited and I had ideas. And he goes, but Nate, they were not proven ideas. He says, you never once learned the ropes. He goes, there's a hierarchy. I spent years working with Neil teaching me the ropes. And then we had Hamilton Winters. It was our company. But Neil was still Devon's mentor, teaching him, right? Because Devon already had a music company. Because he goes, yeah, but everything, if you wouldn't have been left billions, then the playing field would have been even. And he said, before Catherine left me her money, I was working for a number of different companies. Nate. And when Neil and I started Hamilton Winters, I already had years of business experience under my belt, but Neil still taught me things. I still learned. You wanted to come in as if you knew everything and you didn't want to learn or you didn't want to listen to not any one person because you were too arrogant to want to learn. And so Nate is saying, well, no, your word goes. You don't want to listen to anybody. You just only want to hear yourself. Nobody value. I got this little sun thing from the sun shining on me. Nobody, you don't value anyone's input. And so they just went back and forth and they got nowhere really. And so Nate says, you know what it is? Here's the problem. This is the problem. Because Neil says, no, Devon says, you almost cost me the last piece of what I had of my father, Neil, the company that he and I built from the ground up. You almost cost me that. He says, and you know what? Because he goes, no, Neil would want blah, blah. He goes, don't you dare tell me what my father would want. You didn't know him like I knew him. And it's actually the truth. Even though Devon was adopted as a teenager, 16, I think it was, 15 or 16, Nate did not live in Genoa City. When Nate was a young boy, Nate was around Neil, but basically Malcolm and Olivia was together. I mean, it was just back. Nate was never raised or truly influenced by Neil. And then when he was young, Olivia just took him away once she and Malcolm broke up for that last time, or maybe she and Malcolm broke up for that last time. So Nate really didn't know. Whenever as an adult, he would come in for a quick visit. He got to, spend some time with Neil. So anyway, he goes, "Oh, that's your problem. Your problem, Devon, is you don't want any input from anybody because they're not Neil. They're not your father. That you can't move on. You're stuck." And I'm thinking, well, that's a reach, Benedict Arnold, right? What's your problem? I know Nate's father died young. I mean, a younger man. So Nate kind of only knew Malcolm and then Neil. But I remember Young and the Restless when Nate's father was on the show, right? So anyway, um, Devon is like, don't you dare try to analyze. Don't you dare tell me what I need to do. He goes, one thing I'm going to tell you is Neil would definitely not forgive you for what you tried to do to the family. Well, and then in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that's not true. Neil was a very forgiving person. So he would have eventually forgiven, not right off, but he would have eventually forgiven Nate. But not if he cost him to lose a whole legacy, just, I don't know. So Devon leaves and he's mad and he's thinking, oh, but he's probably thinking, I wonder if some truth to that. Do I not want any input because it was me and Neil's company? And my whole thing is, you know what? So what? You were making a success of it. Now buy it back so you can run it the way you and Neil would have run it to begin with. Devon was fine. He did not need the merger with Chancellor. He did not need it at all. And he needs to go back without it. Okay. That's my opinion. So Sally runs into Connor and I said, she texts Adam and Adam gets there and he hears the last of what Connor's saying. And Connor feels that Chelsea doesn't love him anymore. She says she's fine. She goes, but she's not fine. So he talks to Sally, but he doesn't get deep talk with Sally. Just, yeah, he told her he saw Adam and Dad in there. And so he just wanted to get out the car. So Adam says, thank you, Sally. And he sits down and he's talking to Connor. And Connor is serious. He goes, no, Mom used to be fine, but she is not fine now. She's not fine at all. And he's like, why am I not enough for her? I used to be enough for her, but now everything is about Johnny. If she wanted Johnny so much, he goes, she shouldn't have given him away to Aunt Victoria, Uncle Billy, And I was like, wow, Connor. And he goes, no, what did I do wrong? What can I do to fix it? And Adam is like, no, son, this is not on you to fix your mother. It's not. And I want you to know, yes, she loves you. She truly loves everything about you, So Chelsea came back to bring the backpack and she is listening in on some of it. And so she walks over, hey, Connor. And as she walks up, I thought, well, who is that? I have never seen her look like this. Has anyone else seen Chelsea Larson look like this? She didn't have a stitch of makeup on. I mean, look at her whole face. You can tell this woman is spiraling. And even with what she was wearing, it was more like slovenly, and she didn't even decide. Did she shower? Goodness. She was looking horrible. Did you brush your teeth? And so she says, no. Here's your backpack. You wouldn't be able to do your homework without it. But was that the plan? And he's just looking at her. So she puts it down next to him, and then she reaches for a shoulder, and he's like, oh, no, touch me. And she's like, oh. And she goes, well, Connor, can you go get a pastry at the counter? I want to talk to your dad. Get anything you want. So she's talking to Adam, and she's like, I got to fix this with Connor. I'm going to fix this with Connor. I know you're blaming me. And he goes, Chelsea, I'm not blaming you. No, I can see it in your face. I can see it in your eyes. You're judging me, Adam. You're just judging me. And he goes, no, I'm not judging you. Well, you're not happy with what I did. And you just looking like, well, maybe now I'm not, you know, but I'm not judging you. So she goes, I need you to back me up. That's what I need you to do. And he goes, back you up how, Chelsea? How am I supposed to back you up? And so she didn't really tell. Connor comes back over and he goes, Dad, can you please just take me home? I really, really want to go home, Dad. Can you take me home? And so Adam's like, yes, Connor, yes, I'll take you home, right? And so they leave, and Chelsea's just looking like Chelsea. So now she goes to the park. She's sitting at the park like a zombie, and Billy comes up. Hey, Chelsea, how you doing? I hope you're okay. And they do mindless banter, blah blah blah. Just wanted to get some sun. And he goes, okay, good, good. But listen, Chelsea, Victoria's on her way here with Katie and Johnny, and I don't think it'd be a good idea if you were here. So she looks at Billy and she's like, oh, okay. So she takes her purse and she walks off. And I thought, okay, Chelsea's feeling like she's lost it all. So what is she going to do next? What desperate thing is she going to do? And so one thing Adam tells her, she says yes, but she didn't mean it. He goes, listen, Chelsea, I want us to go to family therapy so that we can help Connor. I think it'll do us all some good. Will you do it for Connor? And she says, yes. And I'm thinking, she don't mean that, but we shall see. We shall see if she'll do it for Connor. But she's just a lost cause. And then I'm just going to half skim by. We had to suffer through Nick and Sally. Oh, we agreed last night, this, and that. Oh, it's probably for the best, huh? Huh? They're both looking at each other like it's probably. Huh? And then she says, "I want you to know I saw Adam." And then she just they do more talking about her feelings and the feelings she still has for her ex than any feelings she ever has for Nick or any real feelings he ever has for her. They are based on me talking about your past relationship, period. That's all. That's the only foundation their conversations can have. Okay, I fast forwarded through them. I didn't want to hear them. I can't tell you if they decided to take a trip to the moon. I don't know. I fast forwarded that. So that was it for The Young and the Restless. Let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Monica says the actor who plays Ned on General Hospital is on Days also. Yesterday I was talking about Days of Our Lives taking everybody. I guess they branching out. Look, we got a role. You got some soap opera experience. It don't matter if you currently on another soap. We want you here. And that's what's happening, right? So Monique also says Malcolm needs to come back to straighten out Nate. Yeah, Malcolm was Nate's biggest influence in his life. He was his stepfather for years and years. Nate forfeited. Oh, Nate forgets Devon was from the streets. He sure was. And we saw the street side come out. Because he's like, okay, no. Devon could be ready to throw down if he needed to, but he'd have to get some sucker punches in because Nate is definitely much bigger than Devon. So Devon would have to use his skills to really beat Nate, right? And Joseph says Nate is one big jealous guy. I never knew him. He would be a power hungry guy. And what Victoria is going to do with him, I know. Whatever Victoria is going to do with him is not going to be good. He's not going to be happy at all to be her puppet. And Joseph says, why are the writers hiding the truth from coming out? I get fed up sometimes. I don't know what truth you were talking about. What truth are they hiding? Medora says, Nick gets on my nerve. He goes after Adam's exes. She is still in love with Adam. He knows that. but he would rather, he even told Sally, yeah, I saw Adam too. She goes, you did win? He goes, I saw him on the rooftop. She goes, what were you doing there? Oh, I went to go talk to him. And he goes, I wasn't going there to cause trouble. And I'm thinking that's exactly what you went there to do, Nick. You had no other true reason to go up on that rooftop and talk to Adam at all. And then Joseph says, why Nick have to tell Sharon everything? He's like a puppy. Nick is just, you know what? I don't even want to talk about Nick Newman. I'm very upset with Nick Newman. Nick Newman hasn't really had a purpose or a story, a real story in a long, long time. The him killing Ashlyn was about the most they've given Nick in a long time. He's just that Newman with, here, we'll give you a little something, period, right? And then Noah's next. Adam has the most interesting storylines, and Victoria. So anyway, thank you for the comments on Comment Corner. Thank you so much for chiming in here, looking in here on this daily recap for the Young and the Restless. Please subscribe to this channel so we can talk about our favorite soaps. We have a lot of fun doing it. I will be back tomorrow for the next episode of The Young and the Restless.